Hi, my name is Tommy Kelly. So guys, today is a really great day for it's a collaboration that I'm actually doing with Colette. So please check out her channel. She's a very inspirational girl. She's suffered with bulimia in the past and she's obviously thriving now in a vegan lifestyle. So we've both got a lot of things in common. Obviously I've got anorexia and I've suffered bulimia and things, and I'm obviously in a vegan lifestyle as well. So the link to her channel is below, and obviously the video as well, so please check her out. She's an absolutely inspirational person. Please subscribe to her, she deserves it, all your support. She's a really wonderful person. So today what we're going to do is we've basically asked each other a series of questions about our eating disorder and recovery and things. So I'll answer these questions, but obviously as well you know all about my story and things like that. So basically I've suffered with an eating disorder for 19 years, which started with the loss of my mum in 1997. And I've suffered relapses in the past, obviously with my wife's ovarian cancer and 4 miscarriages, which resulted in a hysterectomy that she had to have. And I've obviously suffered recently in 2014 in November when my father passed after a long illness, and he had a stroke and a heart attack as well. So I've actually suffered the very first time in the year 2000 when I went away to Australia. As you well know, I suffered a massive heart attack and I was actually dead for 9 minutes, and I was in a potassium coma. So that's one thing I really want to put out there. The eating disorders are they can be absolutely fatal. They've got a highest mortality rate of any mental illness for a very important reason. So we should never glamorise eating disorders. I've actually suffered another heart attack, obviously with my wife's relapse in November 2008. So I'm really lucky to be here, and I'm just spreading the vegan message, try to get as many people to recover for their eating disorders and help as many people, because that's what I'm here for, and I want to grow this channel and help all you guys. So the first question she asked is, how did my eating disorder begin and how long did it take for you to realise you actually had an eating disorder? Well, like I say, my eating disorder started in 1997. At that point I was actually a semi-professional footballer with Scotland under 16s, and I was actually working in an abattoir, would you believe it, as part-time, which is really strange for somebody that actually suffered with an eating disorder and obviously is vegan now. So that's quite a rare one to throw out. But my mum had actually suffered various cancers right from I was born, and she actually had the chance to have abort me or to have me and live with the cancer, and she did do that, and I actually blamed myself for her passing. And my grandfather actually died the month before her, and the two of them were just my rocks. And basically this is what caused my eating disorder, that I just started to restrict my food constantly. I was over-exercising day in, day out. I would get up during the night, go runs, do press-ups, sit-ups. I was filling myself up in Pepsi Max to make myself give that satiation of feeling full and things like that. And it was right up for then, right up until the next 3 years. As I say, I went away to Australia, and as I come off the plane, I actually was down to 4 stone and I took a massive heart attack, and I was taken straight from there to Gartnavel Hospital in Glasgow, and I was in a potassium coma, obviously, because when you restrict that much and binge and purge, as you well know, it can regulate all the potassium in your body, which controls the salts and obviously the regulation of your heart. And it caused me to have a massive heart attack, and I was in a potassium coma, as I say. And I hadn't really believed that I did have an eating disorder right up until that point, because I always used to say, when people said to me, "Oh, do you think you've got an eating disorder?" I would say, "Oh, I can't have an eating disorder, that's a thing that a female suffers with, and I'm an athlete," and things like that. But that's the kind of stigma that's out there in the society, that people don't believe that males do get eating disorders, and obviously there's that stigma around it, and males won't come forward because they're worried about the stigma they'll get from society and people that they know, because it stigmatises being a female disorder. There's a lot of males out there, and it's just the case that they don't come forward because of this. And I really want to try to end that stigma. That's why I put out my message and to help people come forward, because it's really, really important that you come forward and get the help you need. The earlier detection, the more chance you have of getting a full recovery, and also limiting any damage it's done to your internal organs through the eating disorder. So like I say, it took me to about a good 4 or 5 years to actually accept I had an eating disorder. But even then, I was covering it up. I would tell people that I had stomach issues and I had irritable bowel and things like that. It hasn't actually been until about the past maybe 3 years that I've actually accepted it and started to speak out. And recovery really happened after my last admission, when I went in after my father's death and my relapse. And then I started to obviously work with the volunteer charities Beat in the UK and Men and Boys Eating Disorder Service, and I spoke at Parliament how they could really help bring on National Health Service treatment of eating disorders, because basically you get sent into a psychiatric ward and they send you in there to fatten you up, as you well know, rather than dealing with the mental issue. But obviously as well, the mental issue, you've really got to be at a really good stage in your life and cognitive ability and the nourishment of the food to feed your brain to actually be able to deal with that mental issue. So it is a double-edged sword, but I feel that they should keep you in there to a good weight and then deal with the mental issue rather than send you back out into the community, basically like putting a plaster on a broken leg basically and sending you back out. So thanks very much for that question, that was a brilliant one. Number 2, did you find more of a stigma around your illness because of your gender? And what do you think makes men less willing to talk about mental health issues openly? Well, like I say, yeah, you do find a real stigma, because everybody feels it's a female illness and they basically just tell you to harden up. And I didn't get accepted by the doctors and things when I kept telling them that I was losing weight and I was worried about it. They would always say to me, oh, it's just through depression or losing your mum. You'll get there, you've just got to, I'll sign you off with your work and things like that. You've just got to face it, that it's depression, we all get this. They wouldn't take me seriously. And I feel that that's how a lot of men don't come forward, because they feel that they'll not get taken seriously. And I actually heard a lot of people say, oh, it's only gay people that suffer with an eating disorder, and if they're male, which is absolutely rubbish. Eating disorders don't discriminate against anything. Spirituality, sexual orientation, colour, creed, they affect anybody. And you can be, you're very, very, what looks to be your most healthiest weight and still be the most illest in your actual eating disorder, because it's not about the weight, it's about the mental issues that we all suffer with. And that's where a lot of people don't understand eating disorders. They think it's all about food, but it's not. It's a coping skill to deal with life's tragedies, something that just triggers in your life. And you're predisposed to these eating disorders because they're genetic, and it's something that's in your body for you're born. And yes, a absolutely great question. And like I say, they don't feel openly about it because obviously these reasons. Number 3, what was your experience with seeking professional help? Did you go on your own accord, or were you forced to go due to being so ill? Do you think the current practices in place for helping people recover are working, or they need improved upon? Well, like I say, basically I really got to the point, obviously I had a massive heart attack and I was admitted to hospital because of that reason. So I really didn't seek help myself because I was worried about it, and I was worried what people would think about me and things. So that was the reason why I got help. And with seeking professional help is really, really difficult in the UK. There's very, very little services at all. Like I say, you get sent into a psychiatric unit. Specialist eating disorder units are very few and far between. You've got one in the Priory in Glasgow and you've got one in Aberdeen, and it's like 5 beds for the amount of people that suffer with an eating disorder is absolutely ridiculous. And like I say, it's basically, it comes down to lottery funding as well, basically, because it depends if your GP's practice can get the funding for you to go to these specialist units. They've actually got to apply through the NHS and things like that, and it's just basically your luck, and it comes down to BMI and all sorts, and it's really, really crazy. And I really don't agree with it, and I've spoken at Parliament about this, about how they could really improve things to actually get an actual specialist, actual hospital that is dealing with eating disorders. a lot of beds rather than just sending you into a psychiatric ward where they don't actually know anything about eating disorders rather than just watching you. And that's really what I feel is needing improved upon. So absolutely great question there as well. Have you always been open about your struggles with mental illness like you are now on YouTube? No, I wasn't. Like I said, I had it for years and years. I kept telling people I was suffering with stomach issues and all kinds of things, and it was depression, and I just wasn't gaining weight, and I had stomach issues and bowel trouble and all kinds of things because I was scared of what society would think about me. But that's how I come on YouTube now and I speak about it openly, because men are absolutely scared to come forward because they feel that they'll be stigmatised, which is very, very true. It sometimes does happen, but society is becoming far better now with big celebrities and things speaking out, and obviously people like myself, and you've got Eric Electric who's on YouTube as well. He suffered with an eating disorder, he speaks out about it. Chris Henry's another great channel, he speaks about his eating disorder recovery. There's a lot of males on YouTube now, and I feel that that's making a difference. When men see this, they're coming forward and they're realising that, yeah, I can speak out about it, and that it's not just a female illness and other people suffer with it as well. There's nothing strange about me, and it's really great. Number 5, do you believe eating disorders would be preventable if more education was provided by schools about recognising signs of mental illness and encouragement to seek help in the early stages? Most definitely. I feel that's what we really want to do. I've actually been looking into this with Men and Boys Eating Disorder Service. They've actually got a schools project where they go around schools and they speak to people about youngsters about eating disorders and how they can get the signs, and if they've got any symptoms to go and get help and things, and they basically educate them about good food, nutrition and things like that, and how you should love your food and everything in moderation, and obviously get in a good exercise, and basically to accept your body and love your body for who you are, because we're all different, and it's not about weight and things like that. It should be about being healthy in body and mind. And I really feel that's really important, because a lot of youngsters look at all this social media pressure, all this perfect body, and that they put out in magazines and in TV and that. And this is, as you well know, they're all photoshopped and they're unrealistic. And at the end of the day, we're all different shapes and sizes, and we're all beautiful in our own way. Your weight tells you nothing about the person that you are. It only gives you basically a gravitational pull in this world. It doesn't tell you about the people that love you, the good things that you do, the people that you touch each and every day. So don't get hanged up about weight. Be healthy, that is the most important thing, body and mind. Absolutely great question, really enjoyed that one. Number 6, have you found the online community for eating disorder recovery a positive experience, despite many sites like ProAna and ProMia? Yeah, the online community has absolutely been great. It's been the greatest therapy I've ever had. I've got a great eating disorder team, but coming on here, absolutely speaking to other people, knowing what I'm doing is not only helping myself, but helping others. I get emails every day saying to me that they're eating food that they've feared for years and years and years, all because I'm giving them the courage, and they're recovering for their eating disorder because of me. And that's what I want to do. That's what I come on here for. I want to grow this YouTube channel as big as possible, help spread it worldwide, help as many people recover from an eating disorder. And like I say, I really don't agree with this ProAna websites. I feel they're absolutely destructive and they should be shut down, because it's terrible. An eating disorder has the highest mortality rate for all mental illness, as we well know. And to come on and actually promote these things, it's just glamorising eating disorders, and this is how a lot of people get this stigma about eating disorders being a choice, because they see these girls deep in the eating disorder promoting how you can be thin and things like that. And like I say, please don't ever come on my channel and ask for ProAna tips, because I'll never give you tips about an eating disorder. I really hate it, and I feel it's terrible. And I've actually seen that there's actually ProAna sites now that actually they've got bits in them where they're actually promoting how to get thigh gaps and all kinds of things, and how you can have food and binge and purge it up and restrict your calories, and even down to the minutest things about how many calories are in a cucumber and things like that. It's absolutely sickening, and I really feel it needs to be stopped because it's undoing all the good work that we're trying to put out for pro-recovery. Number 7, did you go vegan in recovery or during your eating disorder, and was going vegan initially a way to restrict your food groups further? No, I actually went vegan in January this year. I had wanted to for years and years and years, but as you well know, obviously when you're in an eating disorder, it's not recommended that you go vegan, and especially as an inpatient. They don't advocate vegan lifestyle and as an inpatient, and a lot of people do use it to mask their eating disorder. So I was prevented it for a long time because of my eating disorder team. They basically didn't want me to do that, which is right. You've really got to get in the amount of calories and things. But after all the relapses this year, and obviously when losing my dad, I said to them, look, I want to go vegan. I want to do it for the right reasons, and that was for the animals and obviously my health and the planet and things like that. So they said to me, as long as you do it and you get in the calories, you gain the weight each week, you show us that you're committed to this, we will support you 100%, and they really have, and I can't thank them enough. I'm gaining weight each and every week, and that's what I want to say. If you do go vegan, you've basically got to get in the same amount of type of food that you were eating in your standard American diet, because it's all about calories, and that is the most important thing. Obviously you've got to watch, because it's got to be constructed by obviously a nutritionist team and obviously your eating disorder therapy team. Because if obviously you've been in a restrictive background for so long, if you start smashing in the calories as they advocate, like in raw tofu and things like that, you can actually cause yourself to have refeeding syndrome, which is absolutely fatal, and it can be. That's basically where your body goes into shock because you've restricted for so long, and actually can cause you to have a heart attack, and you can suffer things like edema and things, and obviously night sweats and things are another sign of it, and that can be a sign of hypermetabolism as well, which is a lot of things that people suffer with eating disorders, basically because your metabolism kicks into gear because you've restricted for so long, and you can actually lose weight with that, which is really hard as well. Did people try to prevent you from going vegan because they were worried it would make you more ill? Yeah, like I say, they were worried about it, but like my wife, my eating disorder team and things all supported me. They said that as long as it was monitored weekly and I was gaining weight, I would get full support, and I have done that, so I can't thank them enough. And that's one thing you've got to do. If you want to do it, you've got to do it for the right reasons. A lot of people, like I say, mask their eating disorders by it or want to do it because they see it as a way of restricting food, and it shouldn't be. No diet to gain weight or any diet at all. And it should never be called a diet, it's a lifestyle at the end of the day, but you should never be restricting food, no matter what type of vegan lifestyle you're on or anything. It should all be abundance to fit whatever your goal is, whether that be to lose weight, gain weight. So absolutely great question. What are your recovery mental health goals for the next few months, and where do you want to be by this time next year? Well, my recovery goals are to keep gaining weight. My target is each week 0.5 kilograms. I want to keep gaining that, and I will do so. My mental health goals for the next few months are obviously to keep ploughing on, get myself better in body and mind. And that's one thing I want to say. That all comes with nourishing your body, and that nourishes your mind, because a starved body is a starved mind. You need all those nutrients to get yourself in that good mental aspect and really start loving life again. It's very hard. Loving life is obviously hard in eating disorder recovery. Start off with liking yourself. It gradually comes, and it will come each day. And like I say, for the next few months and next year, I want to get my weight up to that target of 70 kilograms. I know that may not happen exactly by the start of next year, but I really want to do that, and that's where I'll get to by some point next year. And basically, I've got a lot of things planned. I'm going to the Veg Fest in London in October. I'm obviously going on holiday to Austria to visit some vegan friends and do some vegan restaurants and things like that. I want to just grow this YouTube channel as big as possible. This is what I want to do for life, this YouTube channel, helping people with their eating disorder recovery, spreading the vegan message. This is my life now, and I love it, and I just want to spread pro-recovery. Number 9, do you believe it is fully possible to recover from a mental illness, or that you just need to find ways to deal with your illness? That's an absolutely great question. I really feel after 19 years, and I know only too well, your eating disorder's always going to be there, but it's about you being in control of it, finding those techniques that keep you on the recovery. It's like I say, recovery is different from somebody that suffers with, say, alcoholism or drug addiction. Yes, the addict side of it is the same, but for an alcoholic or a drug addict, they just need to avoid those demons. But for us, we've got to deal with that demon and the thing that saves our life each and every day, and that's food. And that's one thing you've got to do. Make that eating disorder voice just whisper away rather than it screaming at you. You've got to challenge that eating disorder voice. Really realise that eating disorder voice is not you. You are not your eating disorder. That is just part of it. You're in control of it, and you can keep him shut away. You are the pilot, not the passenger, and that's what it's all about. And it's obviously always going to be something that you've got to keep on top of. Realising that you've got to stick to your food, eating by the clock, because that's one thing you have to do in recovery, because obviously you've not got those hunger cues and things as well. But even further down the line, you've got to watch. You can never really go on diets or things like that. You've always got to watch your exercise. Anything that's going to give that eating disorder the littlest way back into your life, it will take within a second. So you've always got to be on top of it. So I always believe you're in recovery for life. Number 10, what do you hope to achieve from sharing your story on YouTube? Well, that's a brilliant question. I hope to reach out to as many people, spread this channel worldwide, and show them that pro recovery is the way forward. We can recover. You can do it. You can thrive in a vegan lifestyle as well. You've just got to want it. At the end of the day, you can't want it for anybody else. If you want it for anybody else, you're not really going to recover. I've found that in the past. It's all very well saying I want to do it for this person or that person or that person, but you've got to want to do it for yourself. You are beautiful. You've got to love yourself before anybody else can love you, and that's what it's about. Self-love. Eating disorders take so much away from you. You isolate yourself from family, friends. You lose so much. You don't want to do the things you love, but you can recover. You can do it. Life's all about living. Live the life you love the life you live, and that's a very, very true saying. And I just want to spread out there that you can do it, and no matter, don't let anybody tell you you're too far gone. That's absolutely rubbish. I want to let you know that the very, very most important thing about it is early detection. Don't let yourself go too far down the line. If you think you've got an eating disorder and you're struggling, speak to somebody that you trust, whether that be going on to Beat Eat in the UK online. You can go and anonymously speak. If it's a friend, a family member, anything, get the help you need early, because you don't want things that's happened to me. I don't want anybody to get to the stage I was at. And I'm just wanting to spread pro recovery and help everybody. This is what I'm all about. I want to show people that it is possible. And thanks very much for this, Colette. I absolutely love this collaboration. Please, guys, go and support her channel, subscribe to her. She's an absolutely lovely person. She's spreading pro recovery and the vegan message, and we're all here to help each other. I've absolutely loved this, and like I say, my wee quote is always before I go: binge on life, purge negativity, and starve guilty feelings. And I'll speak to you all again soon, guys. Love you so much. Remember, guys, binge on life, purge negativity, and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon, and love you so much.